I think working at the BBC must melt your brain because the place is quite literally an institution, and institutions really do have a way of affecting people, which makes them a certain way. The British Armed Forces, for example, that's an institution, and the people who've served there and come out, they are of a certain way. And the BBC are as anti-British as they come, and you don't need me to tell you or give you examples of this because it's quite evident anyway. Now, if King Charles III can call Hamas terrorists, why can't the BBC? What Hamas did to Israel was a terrorist act. Of that, it is indisputable. And during the whole time, the BBC have reported on this monumental and historic, though tragic, event. Not once have they used the word terrorist to describe them, which is weird because when Islamic terrorists strike in the UK or elsewhere on the globe, the BBC happily calls them terrorists, but when they ever strike against Israel, then they're militants or freedom fighters. I don't get it. Take John Simpson, for example, a BBC broadcaster, well, to give his full name, and I'm... forgive my giggling, but you'll see why in a minute. His full name is John Cody Fiddler Simpson, and it's quite apt. Of course, I'm not saying he's a fiddler of any sort, but the BBC is known for harbouring fiddlers, aren't they? How apt. Anyway, John Cody Fiddler Simpson, he is a commander of the British Empire, and he is the BBC's foreign... Gee, I can't get that, man. Foreign correspondent and world affairs editor for BBC News. Well, there we go, says everything, doesn't it? And the guy has spent all his working life with the BBC, so he is as institutionalised as they come. All he's known is the BBC's way of doing things, and it's rubbed off on him, so he does things the BBC way, as we all know, are lies and propaganda and the wrong way. And John Fiddler Cody Simpson has he has taken umbrage with the people who are calling out the BBC for not using the term terrorist when describing Hamas. And so he wrote this on Twitter, and I quote, "British politicians know perfectly well why the BBC avoids the word terrorist, and over the years plenty of them have privately agreed with it. Calling someone a terrorist means you're taking sides and ceasing to treat the situation with due impartiality. The BBC's job is to place the facts yeah, right, before its audience and let them decide what they think, honestly and without ranting. That is why in Britain and throughout the world nearly 500 million people watch, listen to and read us. There's always someone who would like us to rant. Sorry, it's not what we do," end quotes. Well, he's contradicted himself there because when the Parliament, was it the Parliament or Tower Bridge or London Bridge terrorist attack happened, he was quite willing to call them terrorists then on Twitter, the bloody hypocrite. And he's gone against the BBC editorial guidelines which state due impartiality does not require absolute neutrality on every issue or detachment from fundamental democratic principles such as the rule of law. And the rule of law states that in 2021 the UK government proscribed Hamas as a terrorist organisation. So there we go, it's John Cody Fiddler Simpson's job as a BBC employed by the BBC to report the facts without being partial, especially when it comes to the rule of law. So the guy's a massive heaping hypocrite who for some reason won't call terrorists terrorists because of what they've done to Israel. And this is yet another reason. I've given you hundreds, if not thousands of reasons now why to dump your BBC TV licence fee. Just don't pay it, folks. Don't give them the money because they hate you. They hate us, normal working class folk. And they want to tell us what to think, how to think. And it's all about control. And I say screw them. Screw the people like John Simpson and the BBC and call Hamas out for what they are, bloodthirsty terrorists. And there we go. That's my video. Please comment, share, subscribe, share my stuff everywhere. And until the next time, Roger Trout.